Hello everyone and welcome to this unboxing video for Sentinels of the Multiverse Oblivaeon! This is the final expansion and it's finally here. Nah, I'm kidding. It is finally here. I'm not holding this against Greater Than Games, unlike some people, because this is about a year and a half late. I don't mind. Welcome to Kickstarter. Regardless, this is the final expansion, and I say that because it is the final expansion that takes place within the story of the Sentinels of the Multiverse universe. They have already put out a Kickstarter that closed months ago for a whole nother game within the Mutants Mastermind universe, but it's the same game, and they have said it will mix, so it's really just more expansions in a different universe and a core starter box. So I love this game, honestly. This is a game that was something I discovered in my early days of getting into modern board gaming. Introduced to a friend of mine who, up till this, had everything for it, which I also do. But they didn't get into this Kickstarter, and I don't blame them. So this is effectively their version of Galactus going crazy, and that's Oblivaeon. And the heroes this time around are people like Baron Blade, who are, I can't rule the world if this thing destroys the universe. So in here we've got the instruction manual with a new set of turn orders, because this expansion is crazy. Then we've got what looks to be a code for a set of DLC for the Sentinels of the Multiverse video game. If you like this and just want to play it solo, get the video game. Plays exactly the same to my knowledge. I haven't played it entirely. Comes with something that they honestly need to do more often. An actual comic book. So, this game is in a comic book-based setting. Like, almost all the cards have quotes on them that make reference to lines from the theoretical comic book series that doesn't exist. Even lists issue numbers and stuff like that. So here is the one-shot of Oblivaeon. So it's probably the story of this, making it, I believe, the second issue that has actually been written and put out. Then we've got some sets of tokens, including Oblivaeon itself, something called a countdown token. Hero markers, I have no idea, but those are double-sided, like as in green on one side with birds and purple on the one side with the other. I wouldn't be surprised if this one has to do with the hero version of Matriarch. And then we've got 100 damage tokens and a bunch of devastation tokens. Couldn't tell what they were. They were just fists. We've got the usual dividers. One for each deck in this box. If I'm correct, Oblivaeon was actually hinted towards since like one of the early expansions in the game, if not the original game with the there was a certain set of villains. It was the first multi-group villains. But regardless. So that's 4 packs of cards. Normal size cards. Almost everything in this series of games is normal size cards, or they're this size. And Oblivaeon is 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, technically, put together in a pamphlet form. The first of these has 10,000 HP. Now, I already know that that's not really how much you have to go through. Actually, it looks like there's only 3 forms, and the outside and the cover is just an explanation with some art on the back. But his other forms have almost as close, don't have actually the highest amount bar that one form, but they come close to it. There was one villain that had 200 hit points, but it was easy to chew through. Like, mechanics made it so that they lost health faster. In fact, that's one of the characters that is a villain turned hero in this one. Regardless, continuing. So we have some larger cards. We have a Devastation card, and then a bunch of the Scions. That's what they were. So they were basically his heralds. And then there's a few other characters like Prodigy returns, and I think I don't entirely remember. Oh, apparently Raquel Voss does. So I don't know what's up with this double-sidedness. Oh, I get it. Okay, so these are the normal this way instead of this way villain cards that have so much text on them they needed to make them large. Instead of the large cards, which are this way, and then just have extra art and are easier to read. I'm used to when they're this way, they're not double-sided, or if they are, the Vengeance villains, where you pick them, groups of them. So, he adds a bunch of different opponents to fight. I think he is officially the only villain, but then it's a lot of branching possibilities. So, I'm gonna just quickly look at these and try to see if I can figure any out of an order, because usually there's some sort of order. Let's just go with that. A lot of these companies do these in just like, okay, here's a sheet cut out, they were in alphabetical order or some order, and then stack them and you can see clearly where it's split. They have done that in the past with this. Regardless, continuing. I have no idea how many cards are in this expansion. Is it on the back of the box? Ooh. 392 cards, so for anybody who wants to sleeve that, go for it. Also, I will be doing a full overview of this eventually. Okay, so first off, we've got Ashtithure. I never knew how to pronounce this. This is the hero version of the said 200, health point character. So all the heroes in this expansion, not the Kickstarter, just the expansion, are villains that, like I said, pretty much they're just acknowledging the fact he's a bigger threat. So all of them are going to have this back. They separate the back, they design the back for the heroes based on the expansion. And so we've got Cultivation. I'm really glad these cards aren't cutting me yet. Their cards are usually so fine that they're slicing through my fingers. Literally. Like, ooh, hey, some of these have blood on them. Healing Pollen! Yeah, I should get a little closer. I'm just reading off a couple of these. One with the Land. I will get a lot more close up on these, possibly even read off a few of the quotes when I get to a overview video. Oh, there's also a stand in there. I guess you use this for Oblivaeon. Then we have Le Commodore. Sorry, because this is the hero version of the Captain, or Le Captain, or don't remember. Time-traveling pirate. In this, she's clearly older, and basically it's either she's reformed from her life, or she's also just acknowledging it's a bigger threat. Harness Anomaly. So it's usually the same consistent artwork, most of these have quotes and still. Rudder in the time stream. Run aground as the ship is literally crashing into Oblivion. So usually a lot of these cards, decks have signature cards in them. And then we're running straight into a environment. Which one is this? Champion Studios in sunny San Alonas. Bottom of the 9th with setback? Not sure. Card chase scene, craft service table, deadly choice. It's somebody defusing a bomb, except they're all red wires clumped together. Death ray. Ooh, I like that the health icon is a marker. Deus Ex Machina, and it's literally just Oblivion. It's a lot of movie tropes and stuff like that. Alright, next up, we've got another pack. Doop, 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 doop. So, yeah, I've been really looking forward to this. Said friend that I mentioned earlier, I think might have actually been looking forward to this more than I have. But, I don't care. I'm just happy it's here and playable and does, like, it's here. And the reasons, there were two reasons it got delayed. One, the all-in-one box, which will be covered in another video on its own, was not up to quality multiple times. Like, there was one time they had 4 prototypes shipped, and they have a video of this, I believe. Video or pictures. And it was just they fell apart. Or for one reason or another. Each of them a different reason, I think. Ooh, yeah, this is a little... they're kind of sticking together here. So, next we have the Harpy, a.k.a. the Matriarch, who was, from what I read, it's still the same character, and she's not going, oh, the universe is ending. Well, I don't want that to end, because I live in it. She was kind of possessed by the mask she was using, and she's learned to control the power. Arcane Tome, using a similar artwork from Night Mist, the other magical character, who I believe trained her to be better at control. Calling the Flock. So, Matriarch used to be one of the top difficulty characters, and then they removed one line from her base card because she would just swarm you like crazy. Elder's Training. And in fact, that is Night Mist there, I believe. Or, yeah, that's definitely Night Mist. I had the two backwards. I thought for a second that was Night Mist. I was like, no, that's definitely Night Mist. And the coins with the burns on it, or the tokens with the burns on it, are definitely for her. Apparently, she can flip them back and forth. Ooh, the two birds. Except this time they're one card instead of two. So, Lash of the Elements, Magical Bequest. Looks like the same medallion that you can actually use as Night Mist is in front of her. Mystical Outburst. Rawr. Swift Summoning. So, yeah, it looks like she's thematically another magical character, which is awesome, because they didn't fully explain, or it didn't come across from her cards what she was in as a villain. So, next up, we've got an environment called Marion Refuge. So, yeah, the environments have a whole different back. I forgot about that. Oh, I remember. This is... I can't remember the character's name, but one of the characters from the original game looked like was a fish-like alien, and this is their, surviving colony. As I'm being reminded, as there's sort of a mutated version of one of them right here called Leviathan. I'm gonna have to take some time to actually... Softball-sized hail. Oh, yep, there's a more clear version. Squall Squad? Or Guard? So, for those that don't know, environments are a neutral thing. Sometimes, most of the time, they'll screw with you, the player. But there are times where it will screw with the villain as well. Or, it will choose a target based on a number that will eventually go back and forth. Or it's got some good cards, some bad cards. One of the... Rook City comes to mind most with the cops. Looks like I'm in a whole different environment now. Yes. So, put that one down. Now it is Mordingran? I don't know. Looks like actually a bunch of Baron Blade kind of stuff. And by the looks of the old guy in it, I'm guessing an alternate timeline version of Baron Blade. Yeah, this game's story has some dimensional and time fuckery. And then we're already into another one. Devouring River. Sorry, that's the first card. Nexus of the Void. Island of Biomes. Elemental Awakening. Ember Dunes. Yeah, it's got a bunch... Ooh, this looks like it will be interesting. A bunch of different elemental effects and stuff. Then we have a battle zone. So, unlike a lot of stuff where you just pick an environment and a villain and your heroes, this is actually sort of episodic in the way it plays through, and it plays entirely different. Thus why I mentioned at the beginning the whole, here's the instruction manual with a whole different play order. So, hero reminder cards. But first battle zone, second battle zone. I'm not going to read these off because these get spoilerish. There are objectives, ways to break him down and everything. Basically, you're trying to go on the epic quest to save the universe kind of thing, except it's hero. So, epic adventure, not epic quest. And you're bringing reformed or just we don't want to die too. We don't want to die villains with you. I know that there's at least 2 more to show. Baron Blade being one of them, and the next one I've got right here in front of me. I can't remember his original name. He came from one of the later expansions, but Lifeline. Bounty Hunter Blood Mage. Alien Arcana. Yeah, definitely emphasizing more on the magic and stuff like that. I'm going to try going through these a lot faster. Enclave Tech. Haro. Yeah, it looks like he's having some shit dealt with there. Haunting Memories. Leyline Shift. Orphic Repository. Looks like something out of Jack Kirby artwork. Which, there is an environment that was basically just, here's a love letter to Jack Kirby's work. If you don't know who Jack Kirby is, look it up. Then we have Luminary, aka Baron Blade, who's effectively a cross between Lex Luthor and Doctor Doom. All according to plan. Backlash Generator. Baird Blade. Apparently now he can morph his arm or something. Like, looking at the original picture, it looks like his arm's kind of made of liquid metal. Brilliant Inventor, which is kind of the point of the character. He's supposed to be really smart, but then he has those problems that both Lex Luthor and Doctor Doom do have. This game follows a lot of comic book tropes. Like, I tell people when they sit down at this game for the first time, what superhero trope would you like to play, like, power-wise? Not too many normal people, but, like, there's a Lady Batman for one, and, like, it's not Batwoman, it's called something else entirely. It's just, easiest way to describe it, Lady Batwoman. Even a card that's just like, and here's her being Lady Bruce Wayne. Okay, so on to the next environment. It is called Fort Adamant. Looks like a either alien or black site alien holding prison. Yeah, like patrollers, blast doors, codename Char. Oh, okay, it's a test site. Codename Highbrow. Looks like her brain's outside of her head. And just more characters like that. I'm guessing this is, some people are here to help, some people aren't. Like the villains, like some people, the codename ones were clearly villains because they had arch nemesis icons of heroes. And it would be kind of stupid if an environment card had an arch nemesis of a villain. Although, it never surprised me, considering the early sets had arch nemesises of heroes and or villains that weren't released at the time. So here we are on to the last pack, which goes into Oblivion's cards itself. I'm not going to actually list these off. That's going to have to wait for my overview videos, because I'm not spoiling stuff like that here. Not that I wouldn't spoil villains in general, it's just not this one. Then we have the Aeon Men, which look to be a lot of copies of generic grunts. Definitely plays into the thing here. Then we have the Scion deck. And this looks like this just triggers, is a general trigger for them, and then it might be like the Sentinels hero team was, where it could trigger things in, like, things could trigger better if such and such was, like, set up for it. Then we have a bunch, there's all sorts of different kind of new things here. A lot of double-sided stuff here. There's objectives, and then a reward, which is pretty much the point of the game, is to go through, do these objectives, and gain the reward. A lot of these seem to be, the heroes seem to be alternate dimension or alternate timeline versions of pre-existing heroes, such as Citizen Storm instead of it's Tempest, which is the character I was trying to mention earlier, and the alien character, instead of Citizen Dawn, or Everyman instead of Proletariat. All sorts of kind of things like that. And some of them just look to be ongoing effects. Again, not going to go over these in detail here because spoilers, and I've been running on way, way long. So, that's everything. Sorry to take so long. I've just been really waiting for this and wanted to go over and add as much detail as I could without getting an overview video. I'm probably not going to do a general component video because literally it's the near 400 cards, these, the dividers, the punch-outs, and the comic. Don't need a video for it. If people want one, if they want one more detailed, they want the counts broken down, please comment about that. Ask for it. I do plan to do a detailed overview video like I do for Kingdom Death and Dark Souls. And if people want me to, once I'm done with those, I will go back and do the core game and the original and the older expansions, which I have everything for this game now. Regardless, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to press the like button. If you think somebody else will enjoy this, go ahead and share this video. If you didn't like this video, such as it went on for too long, I'm sorry about that, go ahead and press the dislike button. But please try to leave a constructive comment as to why. Also, feel free to comment in general. And if you want to see more like this, be it more unboxing videos, my board game overview videos, or if you want to see some of my comic movie reviews, my Marvel ones and such, or hear my thoughts on comics in general, feel free to subscribe. Regardless, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.